Peace and unity, they do not come through our own actions. Those are good things, friends, that are found only in God, who is the ultimate source of unity and peace, which is what he always offers us through Jesus. I don't think, everyone, it's a stretch of the imagination or the truth to say that there is particularly severe turbulence in our world at the moment, and it's not difficult to see. I'm not just talking about the wars that are obviously raging across the planet, but the turbulence in community life, in personal life. A lot of people are in a bad place at the moment, and it's not difficult to see. And instead of perhaps beginning to accept that this is what's happening for me at this time in my life, and maybe take on responsibility to try and deal with it in some shape or form, people instead are being stirred to be angry as much as possible. Be angry. Tear down. Wipe out. And the gospel today, folks, it's about peace, love, and unity that Jesus has with God the Father, first and foremost. That peace, love, and unity, it's becoming a little bit more difficult to find in the world, indeed, I would say in our church even, let alone in our own hearts. And obviously the reasons for that are so many. But these passages in John's Gospel in chapter 6, they're truly astonishing. And we often kind of wash over them very quick because they're quite deep and they're hard even to read sometimes because there's so much, the language itself is hard to kind of get your head around it. Folks, it's astonishing because we're getting a window into the intimacy between the Son and the Father. That the two of them are perfectly one. I mean perfectly one. Jesus, he's constantly uttering deep unity and deep love with God the Father. It's a truly amazing witness, friends, when you think of it. The access that we're given to the inner life of the Holy Trinity is something else. It really is. And at this point, we have to remember what's happening in Jesus' ministry. He's facing rejection by the world. A lot of by those who are actually following him, because he started teaching about his flesh being real food that he's going to offer people to eat. People can't accept that. They walk away. And he's also facing the impending crucifixion, which the violence of it we know very well. And here he is, speaking with such calm, peace, love, and unity with God the Father. Extraordinary, considering what he's facing in his ministry at that stage. Friends, true unity, love, and peace, they can only come from a deep, deep, loving personal relationship with God himself, first and foremost. Like I said, he's the source of all those good things and the best of those good things. We're the ones who twist those good things into something else. Such as love today is twisted into whatever you want to feel. Your own truth, go do whatever you want. Don't mind what everyone else says. We're twisting peace into thinking it's only about being tolerant. It doesn't take a genius to recognize if we go down that route, it's going to lead to serious problems. Unity today is being twisted into thinking that once you agree with my agendas, once you agree with my way of thinking, we can have unity. All of that is very, very false. No, friends, we find peace and unity by carrying out what God has asked you and me to do in this world. Whatever it may be. It could be a small thing, it could be a big thing. We don't know. But that can only be discovered through prayer with the Lord. And what is essential to all of this, everybody, is first and foremost accepting Jesus as God. That is key to what Christ is talking about in our gospel this morning and the last couple of weeks. It's basic Christianity. In doing that, folks, when we accept Jesus as God, what happens? God's love starts to settle in our hearts. We've opened ourselves to the Holy Trinity in the most profound, intimate way possible. His love starts to dwell here in the heart. And it's God's love, that mighty force, folks, in our hearts, what propels us forward to carry whatever God has asked you and me to do in this world. And more than likely, it's like what St. Paul is at in our first reading, is to give witness to God's existence and his love by how we live and act. That through us, God offers the world mercy, compassion, peace, unity, and love. In a world that today, I think it forces so many people to develop animalistic tendencies. That's why, everybody, love of God, it must come first. The basic commandment of Jesus is to love God first before anyone or anything else. Because, everybody, when you think about it, when we love God first, what happens? Our love becomes ordered and rightly ordered towards the ultimate good, which is heaven. Unity with God and with each other. So, when we love God first, His love begins to settle in our hearts, and that affects us in two ways, when you think about it. First, it stops you and me worshipping false gods. Worshipping things, created things only. That's the first thing it does. And secondly, it stops us worshipping ourselves and obsessing over somebody else that we might love in this world. Because when we start to obsess with people in this world, it never ever ends very well. Because our love is not guided by God's love in our hearts. So friends, peace, unity, and genuine love, be it whether in the church, in our world, communities, or in our personal life, it comes through loving God, allowing God's living love in our hearts, and not by my actions.